Welcome to Updata Analytics version 10.1. My name's David Linton and I run Updata, and I thought I'd just share with you one of my favorite new features in version 10.1, and that is system scanning. So within Updata, you can actually run trading systems on any instrument you like. So we have a whole library full of systems, and if I take as an example a moving average system, here is the code for it. It's all written in Updata code. And one of the new features in 10.1 is this ability to set a range and step function in your parameters. So this will actually, and if you hold over the syntax, it explains it to you. But here, basically, it will set the default as 5 on the first average, and then test between 5 and 21. That's the range with a step of 1. So it'll test 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 25. And on the second average, it'll do 8 to 35 with a step of 1 as well. Now we can go and optimize these parameters, and you can do a quick optimization which will run those between those ranges, and it'll home in on the result, so it'll be quicker. So it'll do a sort of least squared route to finding the best result, which makes the optimization quicker. There's a no fuss, which will just find the best periods through a process similar to that, and then the exhaustive optimization will run every single step in the range to establish which is the exact one that produced the best results, and that will take a lot longer, of course. So the quick optimization is the one that I tend to go for. Here are the parameters. I can actually save those parameters here, and it will change them in the source code parameter list here. And then here I select my instrument, and it could be Icon, it could be Saxo. Here I'm using the Saxo platform for power and gas. Could be Montel, could be Trayport, could be Bloomberg, whatever you're running Updata on. But here we're doing it on German power, and so the next step is then that I select the time period. So it could be daily, down to 10 minutes, whatever, but I'm using 60 minutes. From the start of the data, you could select, do you want to do a portion of the data to now, and then you can put in your transaction costs if you wish. I like to keep those with no transaction costs to see the frictionless system. And so I run that system, and what it's doing is it's going to do a series of passes to arrive at where the best results are. And I can see it's about 22 and 5. And if I go in the individual results, it lists the top 10 results, and here we see all the trades and all of the stats that go with that: sharp ratios, number of trades, winning trades, losing trades, etc. I tend to go straight to the chart. Here we see the signals on the chart, the trading signals that come from those moving averages, and here in the bottom window we've got the black line as the equity curve and the red line is the underlying, so that's German power versus. So you've done better with this trading system, but you can see it's a pretty jerky line, and we know that moving averages generally are not great a way of trading, automated trading. So what we can do is we can go and set up a system scan, and it's this box here at the end of the custom coding ribbon, and we can actually go and select different systems and add them in. Now I've tended to do big batch processes where you can actually run these overnight, and I might say I want to test 100 systems, and that might take an hour to run through on 60-minute data, and some of these systems are quite complex, but all of them have in them the parameters now written for you. So I can go and look at the code for each one at this level, and here I see my parameters and the step function, or I can actually just edit the parameters. So this is a really quick way of going through all my systems and just checking the parameters. But these in the libraries now have all had the parameters written in, and you can see they're being grouped in terms of stocks and commodities and others. And you can then select your time frame, the instrument you want to test, and then the level of optimization. Now what we can do is we can go and edit a system that I've already got, and I've got one here for German power. I've got lots of different systems for lots of different products, lots of different scans for lots of different products, and so I can actually see what I've got. So an RSI, I've got one that's come in as a top 10, and that's the Kaufman RSI, and under my oscillators, I've got a couple here, MACD and momentum systems. In our own proprietary systems, we've got Indexia Market Tracker. So there's a whole series of different systems there. So I've got the quick optimization. It's going to do on 60 minutes, and I can save and run this. I'm just going to overwrite what I've already got, and it's now going to run through. It'll take about 2 or 3 minutes to run through those top 10 systems to arrive at which is the best one. So I'm going to pause here to save you having to watch this bar for a further 2 minutes. So here we are a couple of minutes later. It's just running through the last system. And you can see here the results. And so in this results screen, these are the 10 systems compared to each other. And normally I'd have a screen and maybe 70 or 80 systems if I'm running a bigger set of systems. And it tells me the parameters that we used, the ranges, and the ones that were selected, and various stats like maximum consecutive losses, the sorts of things that you would normally see in each individual one. Now, the first thing I do is I click on the net profit screen, and that just takes me straight away to the top performing one, and I can open the system results straight away. And here we see the top 10 trading systems through the optimizations, all of the various stats, and then the various trades. And I can actually go and look at the chart, and here we see the chart is actually showing the performance here is massively outperforming the underlying. So this is the equity curve, and this is the underlying German power contract. So this is Cal 20, in fact, it's coming near the end of its life. But we can see here that all the trades marked on, and if we zoom in on that, we can go and see the individual trades with this Bollinger Band pivot system. And so quite powerful that you can go and do that at this level. So what I can do is I can actually also just open straight into the chart itself. So I could choose this MACD system, for example, and just go straight to opening the chart, and that will just open the chart because that tends to be the visual that I want to see. And you can see here it's showing me all the signals. It's saying a MACD of 7 and 10 with a signal line of 3, and this is 60-minute, remember. But this equity line is not great because it's dying away a little bit here. It's not really performing well in the last few weeks. So what I'm looking for always, it's not necessarily about the best performing system profit-wise, it's also the shape of the equity curve. So for example, I could take this last system at the bottom, and it may well be that this has a better equity curve. And this is, I can already see that that is the case, because we see here the individual trades wasn't performing as strongly as German Power when it was trending, but since then this has been producing quite good results. So this is quite a nice trading system as well, and I can just basically look into the trading results here, and I can actually then alert myself based on this system. I'll get alerts for every time a new trade has been generated. So quite powerful, and we can go right down into the trades, and we see it's a pivot style system as well. So it's really key that you can actually get to the systems that are producing the best trading results really, really quickly. And we've run these on lots of different instruments, and it's a case of just seeing which is best. We've run it for emissions and power and coal and oil, and it's really quite powerful to be able to just run those systems to arrive at which systems are producing the best trading results. And if you're running your own trading systems, it's good to put those against this library of about 1,000 systems in Updata to actually see how your own trading systems are performing. So why not give Updata version 10 a try? It's really powerful, runs on Trayport Joule, of course, optimized for Trayport Joule, and it's a big improvement on our previous versions of Updata, versions 8 and 9. Version 10.1 is really the latest system, and well worth giving a try. I'm very happy to work with you on finding the best trading systems.